has been raised by one of our listeners here, because when we approach 2027, we must critically think of individuals who it is we put in office, where it is MCA, National Assembly, Senate, Women Rep, Governors, President.
Yes.
And I'll just read what Mr. Mukweli is saying. Kenyans, we will talk, cry, weep, complain now and forever, but unless we seriously discuss the character of the presidential candidate, of MPs, of all the elected positions, their history believes there will be no change in Kenya. How critical is it then for us to start discussions on what kind of people are we really putting into these elective positions to represent us and further this country forward?
I think it's the most important conversation that we should be having. You know, I just from my interaction, I come from Kiambu County, just from my interaction with people, I think Kenyans, and not only in Kiambu County, in Baringo, in Nakuru, I think people are already decided who they are not voting for, or who they are voting for. A good majority have already somehow decided, more so who they are not voting for. Now, having said that, we need to move beyond the sloganeering. You know, the one term, two term, people already know. Psychologically, people are either aligned one term or two term. But now we need to move beyond that and start now looking at what you're talking about. We need to look at, for example, the ideology, the philosophy. The problems will not be solved by the sloganeering. You know, for example, if you look at the debt crisis. Sometimes when I look at the debt crisis and the payments that are due and the financial situation in terms of that, I even wonder why someone wants to become president. Because, you know, you're going
Why would you want that?
Yes, you're going to be dealing with... You're going to be dealing with a lot. Yeah. And you know, the demands of the public are also increasing. The public is more aware, more woke in terms of what they demand from government. So unless we have that discussion, we need to critically analyze this thing of voting in waves and slogans. You know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. We've done it since 1992, all the way to the last election. People were voting in waves. Nobody's asking the critical questions. And then 2-3 years down the line, we'll be back again now complaining. So, I mean, we've done it now for more than 10 years. So we actually need to have that conversation. If you look at the American system, for example, you know, they dig deep into your past, your behavior, your character.
What you stand for.
Yes, what you stand for. What are your inclinations? And then that kind of tells us a trajectory of what kind of a leader you're going to be. But do we do that? I mean, if you look at the mud that is thrown on both sides of the political divide today, there is mud about character of person X and person A. And I tend to think what one party says about the other, you know, the funny thing is, in the political situation that we're in, I firmly believe that none of them are lying. What X says about Y is 100%, and what Y says about X is 100%. You know what I'm saying?